Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So tonight I decided to do a reaction video to the Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Rowley speech at the agriculture investment meeting on agriculture investment opening in Guyana recently. So yeah, it's really long right now. So, and also I'm doing this because I'm actually from Trinidad, so I understand everything, most of the things that he's saying and what he's talking about and all of this. I just love to listen to his speeches, so I decided to just react to this one. And also, it is really long, so let's just get into it right now. Yeah, so let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, all Caribbean people, permit me a moment to acknowledge our host, President Irfan Ali, Vice President Barrett Jagdeo, and the executive members of the Guyanese administration and all the people of Guyana. I thank you very much for the invitation to participate in what I consider to be a seminal event. I also would like to claim the role of elder statesman in the front line, not on the stage, in the front line, because I just discovered that I've been around longer than everybody else on the stage. And that means I've seen this before, I've heard it before, and I don't want to hear it again.
So in other words, he's saying they have been doing this. He has been around so long before everybody else, and he have been going to these kinds of meetings for so many times, and they keep having the meeting over and over and over. Still didn't do anything. I'm not sure if they did anything already that was said in any of the meetings, but according to him, he have been doing this over and over and over, and still new persons are coming into the political arena or whatever you want to call it, and bringing up the same meeting over and over. So basically that's what's going on there. That's what is going on there.
We know what to do. Question is, are we prepared to do it?
You hear the crowd? Barely anybody clap.
I'm here on this occasion for two reasons among going to Kaicho. First reason I'm here is to see whether it is possible to revitalize the hope and the energy that was held out to us by the Jagdeo documents, and to also to provide total support for the initiative and the enthusiasm of President Irfan Ali in trying to get us to do what we know we have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also here to remind you that there was something called the St. Anne's Initiative.
I don't know what that is.
That was a meeting in St. Anne's in Trinidad, CARICOM meeting, very much like this in Trinidad.
So in other words, it had the same meeting in Trinidad.
Supported by CARICOM, sponsored by the government of Trinidad today, for one reason, and that reason was to refocus the people of the region to the valuable, or I should say invaluable role that the single market and economy should and have to play if we are to be successful in our initiatives.
So basically, I know about when I left Trinidad, there was, and that was recently actually, there was a lot of youths and young persons in agriculture. So you would literally go and sign up for land or ask for land or whatever, and they would give you the land for agriculture, for livestock, and all of these different things that would keep foodstuff in the country circulating then. Because at the end of the day, if agriculture is coming from outside, then the farmers in the country would be getting paid less money, and they would barely be able to sell their goods, because there are so many people that want to buy goods from outside instead of buying local goods from the local farmers, which to me makes no sense, because you get really great products from local farmers, so I don't know why they would want to go outside. Probably because it's cheaper to them, but to me, it makes more sense to buy from local farmers. And personally, I find local farmers would sell their goods really cheap, so I don't see why they're going to outside producers.
Today I want to say, unless we accept CARICOM as a proper single market and economy, a lot of these objectives will not be realized. We cannot, as a small economy, fighting against the winds that are buffeting us as they did so poignantly during COVID-19 worst days.
Wow.
To still be operating on the basis you versus me and mine versus yours. On the other hand,
so basically saying why it is the Caribbean countries fighting among themselves. Like say I have a product and some other Caribbean country have the same product, and you want to fight that next Caribbean country to outsell them, and then no one is working hand in hand so that everyone will get a bite out of the bread or a share of the profit. So basically everybody fighting against each other, as in who want to sell this and who want to sell that and how much it should cost and all of these different things. So that is just crazy.
If the St. Anne's initiative, which came into being because at the time when I joined the CARICOM heads of government, the unthinkable was happening. We had taken the single market and economy off the agenda list of CARICOM.
Which is so crazy.
At the initiative of Trinidad and Tobago, it was put back on the agenda. And that St. Anne's meeting was to drive us along the line to actually get something done. Agree to do it. That initiative is in place. It's on paper. It's among the leaders. We're meeting here today, not after, but during a pandemic, because only this morning I was monitoring the response from countries and looking at the data of the continued infection at high levels of people responding to the virus. Thank God the hospitalization is not rising, but the infection levels are rising again. One of the things that I think we've all agreed on, and the experts have told us that, is that what we have experienced in COVID-19 is likely to happen again and to happen more frequently.
Wow, so basically they are saying that all of the experts, I don't know which experts he's talking about, but a lot of experts are saying there will be a second wave of COVID coming, and it would be coming rapidly, it would be coming frequently. Wow.
And for those of us who in the worst days of COVID-19 heard our private sector saying to us as government that they could not place an order for a supply of food, and our Ministry of Health could not administer a vaccine even though we had the money to buy it because we could not buy a vaccine. We have been warned.
Wow. So something was I know that different Caribbean countries was having problems with getting vaccines because there was a lot of shortages in a lot of different vaccines. Some people did not want to take certain vaccines, like the one from America, and all kinds of different craziness was going on. Some people didn't want to take the vaccine because it was not authorized by the... Anyway, I'll put it up right here for you to see. Anyway, and a lot of countries couldn't even afford it. A lot of countries. And the countries that did get vaccine, all of the different countries was holding on to what they had. They didn't want to share, they didn't want to sell to any other country because there was so much shortage in the vaccine. So all of these different things was happening with this vaccine, and I'm going with money wise.
We have been warned. So when we come here now in these Cerubis environment, externally and internally in this building, let us remember that amongst us there will be responses that are saying we prefer to protect the status quo of the narrow existing interest as against doing what has to be done to broaden it for the interest of the wider CARICOM people. Let's understand that. So I'm asked to speak, if we had time to speak on all these things, on investments and marketing, for the simple reason that I've been saying that unless we get the appropriate investments, the scale at which we are required to perform will not be achieved. Because the fundamental principle of economics, the economies of scale, will always apply to us. And therefore, Guyana's role in giving CARICOM the opportunity to produce on the scale at which we can produce, to be a participant in feeding ourselves, is important.
Notice he said feeding ourselves. And you would see later on in the video why he said that. Feeding ourselves. We have to push to feed ourselves. We have to... Anyway, let's get further along into the video and you'll see why. And notice he did not start with exactly what they told him to... that he had to speak on. He literally started with a lot of different things, different horrible things that are going on that needs to be fixed alongside agri part of things. So let's get back to the video.
And that's why I'm here to support this guy, this initiative, driven by the works of Vice President and President Guyana as integral leaders in CARICOM. Because while we want to protect our peasant agriculture, while we want to ensure that the current interests are not trampled upon, we must do what has to be done to increase production. But that increase in production is going to do something. It's going to disturb the status quo of the current arrangements.
Yes, it will disturb the current status quo of the current arrangements. That is what he said. So a lot of people, even though they had this same meeting in Trinidad, a lot of people are still sticking to the same thing over and over. They want to keep it safe, simple, and the same. They don't want to step out of that box, and they don't want to step out of the safety and into the fire. Like you have to step out of the safety zone to build yourself and do more for the Caribbean people, for your own people as well. And this can actually be really great for the Caribbean people, because a lot of the other countries literally stick to themselves when things happen, right? So when these things happen, the Caribbean countries should be sticking together. Like if it is something happen so and so area, and all of the CARICOM countries should be able to step in and say, here what, this happened, we are all united, we are all one, everyone need to step in and help this particular country in the CARICOM. Yes, you can help other people outside of CARICOM and all of these things, but still, you have to look out for your people as well, right?
And that is status quo. If it is not on board and in board, it's going to dominate the conversation of protection, and we will not get it done.
They won't want to move forward.
President Skerrit is asking you today that he could sell avocado to Europe, but he can't sell it down the road, 100 miles down the road. Why do you think we have so many possibilities of production within a region, COVID or no COVID? But there's no easy movement of these products. A lot of it is the protection of the status quo.
Yeah, that's because a lot of people want to sell to outside market. They can get more for their products, so they go and sell to outside people. They would buy from persons that are cheap, and sell to persons that are would buy it for a lot of money. So yes, it is a business point of view, but at the same time, you have to look at your neighbors. Like say your neighbors want a discount in something, because they don't have much to offer, right? And then you say, no, I'll sell this batch to an outside country because they are paying more for it. And then later down the road, the same country that wanted to buy it for less money end up with something that you want to buy from them and they have limited. They would literally go and sell it to the other Caribbean countries or whatever instead of selling it to you. Or because of what goes around comes around. Like, you have to think a lot of things. You have to think about a lot of things, because they could have actually split it in half, sell the outside countries for a lot of money, plus sell half to you for a decrease in profit. So for less money, then for less profit. I mean, decrease in profit for less profit than what you're making with the next country. It's all about thinking about the future. What will happen in the future that can benefit you? Like, what can happen between these countries that can benefit you in the future? It's not always about right this minute, because doing something right this minute can bite you in the butt later down the line. I don't want to use certain words, so yes, can bite you in the butt later down the line. You never know what can happen.
But if we accept that the giant step of a single market and economy is to come into being, then it will remove this chronic impediment of talking while knowing that we don't intend to interfere with the status quo. For example.
That's true. What you're saying there is true. Because it doesn't make sense talking about the same thing over and over and over. Like, say you're making plans over and over and over, and up to now you still haven't done those plans. You have all the necessary tools and everything in place to do it, but you still haven't done it in years. So that is basically what he's saying there. It makes no sense. Don't have a meeting if you know you don't attend a meeting if you know you're not going to do what the meeting is saying to do. You're being kind of hypocritical if you attend that meeting. Like, seriously.
We talked, my colleague and I from Barbados, we talked about this idea of having within this single market and economy a single company register, where once a company is registered anywhere in the CARICOM, it is deemed to be registered everywhere in the CARICOM.
That makes sense.
That is a simple, straightforward way of encouraging entrepreneurial recognition under the law, but it will remove a lot of impediment. Simple as that is. And of course, if we are going to produce in significantly increased volumes, we immediately bring into play the question of transport.
Yes, exactly. You have to think about transport, because if you're going into these trading industry, agriculture industry, you have to be able to trade, you have to be able to sell to each other and all of these things. And how would these things go easy between the Caribbean countries? Best way is transport, as he's saying here. So let's listen to what else he has to say about it.
When we became independent as a federation, that fleeting existence that we had, the Canadian government gave us a gift.
Wow.
And that gift were two vessels, two ships, the Federal Maple and the Federal Palm.
That's why I love
ran
Canada.
Up and down the CARICOM, starting in Jamaica, down to Trinidad, back up. And at no time that I can recall were the people of this region, the CARICOM region, ever better connected and better served.
Wow.
But at the end of the useful life of those ships, they were never replaced. Not because there was no reason to replace them or that the job had been done, but that we, the independents, had not done what had to be done to serve our people. We knew what had to be done. It has never been done. I gather that there are international supporters at this conference. And I will say here today, if you really want to help CARICOM to do what we are saying that we could do here for the good reasons advanced, One of the best things that you could do is to help the team of governments of the region to fund and have operating within the CARICOM region vessels of that nature, so as to bring our people together to travel by sea in an affordable way.
In an affordable way, that's exactly what you should do.
It has been done. It needs to be done. Goods and services by sea, after by rail, is always the cheapest. There's some specifics that we need to do.
And there's the cheapest.
Specifics. Phytosanitary guards, we need, yes, to ensure that we don't spread disease unnecessarily among ourselves. But they are not to be barriers to the explosive increases that can come if we move out of the comfort zones that we exist now, but comfort zones for the few at the expense of the many. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much that we can do, so much that we must do, because food security is not going to come at the time that you need it. The worst time to try to build a fire brigade is during the fire.
Exactly.
We have to be cognizant of the conflagration of a fire that could engulf all of us, and build it when there is good, fair weather.
And I was saying, when it have outbreaks and all of these different things, there's always food shortages. And most countries just want to wait until these things happen, then to go and want to have meeting with different countries to get this and that and the other. So basically you're saying you can't wait until all of these different disasters happen, then to want to push these different things. Push food, push agriculture, push whatever else. You can't wait until these things happen. Makes no sense.
And that is what will serve us when there's an outbreak of fire. But for that to happen, there has to be a sustained business model. In my meeting with President Ali on Tuesday afternoon, we spoke at length about the need for the business model. What is the business model that we are going to use to bring about this expansion in food supply that will cause us to have a food supply that will survive fair winds and foul, and that will bring us the benefits of that increased production? Because increased production, without proper transportation, proper storage, and of course agro-processing to ensure that the word glut doesn't become part of the vocabulary, requires a proper business model. And that is why today, representing Trinidad and Tobago, I could say that Trinidad and Tobago is in a position to develop a business model with the potential in Guyana and the potential in CARICOM to have us use energy, use expertise, use our universities to put us in a position to do what has to be done. Nobody is going to come to do it for us.
Nope. You have to do it yourself.
As we said at the beginning of the pandemic, nobody is going to come to our assistance. We have to do it ourselves. And we saw it when Barbados couldn't buy half a dozen ventilators. We couldn't buy a vaccine.
And there is a big explanation why we couldn't buy our vaccine. So I think I will do that in the next video.
Those who had them kept them to themselves. Nobody is going to give us food when food is in short supply.
Exactly.
So if we don't put arrangements in place to ensure that whatever the weather, there is food for our people, then who can be blamed? We have to do it now, so that when the next time it happens, we will be in a better position, not a worse position. We have to argue effectively and convincingly at the WTO against the current arrangements that work against us. We might be small, but we are not insignificant. We must let our voices be heard. We must let our interests be served. We what we have to do. It is because we are aware of what we have to do why today, in the office of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, you have an advisor, an agricultural advisor, who is a geneticist. Expertise that tells us other people are growing grain and planting things. It doesn't mean that we have to grow the same variety of grain in this region or on these soils. But it is possible to understand the genetics and to get varieties that are suitable for our environment. And that is where our universities come in. The University of Trinidad and Tobago, that is technologically biased. The University of Guyana, the University of the West Indies. Our research now has to be with a fierce urgency of identifying for the producers the varieties that we can produce on scale so that we can supply ourselves with the inputs for animal feed, with the inputs for human oil consumption of human oils. And therefore, we want to see fields of soil growing within the CARICOM, Belize and Guyana where the acreage is available. We want to see corn being harvested, grown in areas where they can be grown, and of course find themselves in as raw materials being processed for our own food supply. And of course, as we do that, we keep our eyes on other people's needs because we can supply some of their needs as well.
Exactly.
It is only a fog in our vision and an absence of our own commitment that can hold us back from doing what we can do and what we must do. And this initiative is probably not the first step, but a giant step in trying to get us to come to the point of identifying business models that we must implement with the support of all those who back us. Make the investments, do what has to be done, and utilize the resources that God has blessed us with within the CARICOM.
Yes.
The least we can do for our people is to do the most that we can do under the circumstances. And that is why Trinidad and Tobago provides full support and hold out the promise of full participation in every effort that is geared towards this very vexing subject of can we or will we feed ourselves. But of course, our people have been so conditioned. Just like the time when they go past the market, not enough breadfruit being consumed, not enough cassava being consumed, not enough dasheen and sweet potato fries being consumed. But they're harassing the government about not enough foreign exchange to buy imported white potato.
Oh my gosh. And just so you know, sweet potato fries, cassava fries, all of these other provision fries does actually taste way better than white potato fries. So I don't know why these people are running down these white potato. Like seriously, it has other things to make fries with that taste way better. Way better. Like come on, eat your provision, eat these nice things. These things that actually taste really good. Cook it with some stews or something. Well, I saw in the expo, I don't know where it was, but I saw in the expo that they were showing you how to use these different products to literally make different dishes other than what you would normally make. Yeah, so they were showing you so many great different dishes, and I think I want to try some of them, so I'm going to look up some of them and try it soon to see how it comes out. Look out for that video.
So yeah, we have to make the dietary changes to fit our ability to feed ourselves, otherwise we are just vassals of other people's problems, masquerading as the wrong and the entitled. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an exciting period. Our young people, some of them here with us today are at school. 2 or 3 years from today, they'll be out in the workplace.
Wow.
They would be required to use the technology that they're being trained in now, and the experiences that they're seeing now, and the failures that we have had to ensure that their generation does not end up in the same situation, being at the mercy of those on the outside who will not come to our aid in a time of urgency. We have to change the model. We have to change it. But, the most aggressive conversations in CARICOM is about movement of people. Movement of people. Last 2 weeks ago, we took to our parliament a piece of legislation to complete this whole question of the handful of skills that we are allowed to move within the region. And what did we experience? We experienced voices within our parliament openly objecting and indicating that this is taking jobs from local people. We have to move away from that to a total commitment to being who we are and doing what has to be done. Otherwise, we'll have more conferences like this in different years other than 2022.
Oh my gosh, this thing about people taking jobs. If you really look at it, if you go into classifieds or online or Facebook or all of these different social medias, look at how much jobs you literally see. A lot of vacancies. And the same people who are complaining about not these people coming and taking jobs are the ones that literally not going out and putting themselves out there to get the jobs. So I don't understand what these people are talking about. So it's best you let people from outside who really wants the job go and apply, go and get it, whoever qualified or whatever, and let them go and get jobs. Like, seriously. Because you might want to go into a next country, you might see something that you really like or want to do, and you would go to that country and you would want people to accept you and want to apply for different jobs. So what he's saying to that is madness. Everybody have to get out of their own heads and think about everyone else. Are you going to apply for jobs if you want the jobs that you're claiming people are taking from you?
And we keep asking ourselves, why not? Today, I would like this conference to place us at a fork in the road. But we take the decision to make the turn in the direction where we commit to an improved production system to give us food sustainability in all conditions, anticipated and unanticipated. I want to thank President Ali and his team and the people of Guyana for the very warm welcome that you have extended to me on behalf of the people of Guyana, to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and to let you know that the closest relative you have in the CARICOM is Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Wow, this was a great speech. Like, seriously, I love to listen to him speak, and I love to listen to his arguments in Parliament, because he makes more sense than most of them, so, on the opposition. So yeah. So this is the quality that you should be at when you're going into Parliament. You should know every single thing that is going on. It makes no sense just bad talking this one, bad talking that one, bad talking the other one, and then at the end of the day, you could barely even speak in Parliament or speak up at a podium or whatever without reading notes. Then you have to be able to do all of these things. Yeah. So I guess that was it. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and please hit the notification bell to see when I post up more videos, and look out for more reaction videos from me and other videos as well. So thank you guys for watching again, and please stay safe from the pandemic. Peace. Bye guys.